Hello and welcome to Views on News. I am Jawad Tehami. The government in Pakistan has decided to formulate a national policy to address the growing incidents of terrorism, particularly in the provinces of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and also has decided to strengthen the National Action Plan to combat terrorism. According to Prime Minister's office, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has asked the National Assembly Speaker Sardar Ayaz Sadiq to convene parliamentary panel on national security, which will be held tomorrow. And according to one of the aides of Prime Minister, the government also plans to convene a multi-party conference in order to bring in all the stakeholders to discuss the security situation in Pakistan. This all comes in the wake of the recent resurgence of terrorism in Pakistan, particularly that tragic incident of Jafar Express hijacking. Pakistan's security forces thwarted that particular attack by launching a grand operation against the terrorists, and 33 terrorists were eliminated in this particular grand operation that was carried out with high precision and skill. Authorities in Pakistan has also mentioned that there is a link of those terrorists when they were involved in this particular incident at that particular moment against the Jafar Express passengers, and they were holding the passengers hostage and using them as human shields. They were being handled from their facilitators and handlers in Afghanistan. We've also known for a fact that the entire world has witnessed India's state sponsorship of terrorism and its role as a peace spoiler in the region as well. After this particular horrific incident of Jafar Express, we had seen condemnations coming from all across. Particularly one worth mentioning over here is in the form of a resolution on the part of the United Nations Security Council, which said, let me quote, "The members of the Security Council reaffirmed that terrorism in all its forms and manifestations constitutes one of the most serious threats to international peace and security. The members of the Security Council underlined the need to hold perpetrators, organizers, financiers, and sponsors of these reprehensible acts of terrorism accountable and bring them to justice. They urged all the states, in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant Security Council resolutions, to cooperate actively with the government of Pakistan in this regard," unquote. To discuss all this and various aspects, the need of strengthening National Action Plan, this particular huddle that is going to be held tomorrow, also the role of the and the responsibility of the United Nations Security Council, its urgency towards all the countries in accordance with the United Nations Charter to cooperate with Pakistan in combating this particular menace. We are honored to be joined in the studio by Mr. Syed Akhtar Shah, former Inspector General of Police. Mr. Shah, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. On Skype, we are honored to be joined by Brigadier Retired Haris Nawaz, Senior Analyst. Brigadier Nawaz, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. Shah, let's specifically talk about the operation, the grand operation that was carried out by the security forces of Pakistan. And unfortunately, before that operation started, because there were a lot of limitations at that particular point in time, the suicide bombers were sitting amid the passengers, and those passengers were being used as human shields. How big a success this particular operation is in terms of, as you've been the Inspector General of Police yourself, what challenges were there and how big a success it is?
You see, the biggest challenge was how to secure the recovery of the innocent citizens who were held as a human shield. So it had to be launched in such a way that no damage is caused to the innocent citizens. So from that perspective, I would say that was successful, and they were rescued from there, and then they were sent to their respective destinations. And at the same time, I could observe that psychological treatment has also been carried out to those who suffered, who were the victims. And now the message is loud and clear that any group whatever may be their motive, would be dealt with iron hand, and violence in any shape or in any manifestation would not be tolerated. So this is the main takeaway as far as that particular incident, the Jaffa hijacking of train is concerned.
How challenging was the scenario overall? The recovery of the passengers?
The most you see, it was rather you see sovereignty of the state is one of the main essentials of any states. So from that perspective, it was an attack on the sovereignty of the state. So while analyzing that incident from that perspective, I would say that we have been able to tackle that. So the challenge was, it was one of the biggest challenges as far as the different incidents of terrorism taking place, whether in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or in Balochistan. So because around hundreds of the passengers were held hostages, and we have seen such kind of hostages dramas in the Indian Ocean and other sea routes, like the Somalian pirates, they would kidnap the ships while on voyage. So here the train was, before that we have observed the hijacking of aeroplanes. So from that angle I would say that it had not only was shocking for us but for the whole world, because you can see the United States, United Nations resolution coming on that. It's very vivid and expressing their concern. So from that angle, I would say that it was a biggest challenge and it was dealt very deftly.
Definitely. Let me bring in Brigadier Nawaz into the discussion also. I'll come back to you with a number of other aspects that I need to discuss with you as well. Brigadier Nawaz, what sort of a message has this sent across this particular successful operation? And as per your understanding, what kind of challenge this particular whole scenario or saga was, and how successfully, with high precision and skill, that has been carried out by the security forces here in Pakistan?
Actually, this was the meticulously planned operation. It was very difficult, particularly when the people have been hijacked and they were all terrorists were there and with suicide bombers were sitting over there on their heads. I think the response, the way it was done, it was executed is excellent. And it will lay really a path for the others to learn. I would say even the word how they managed to rescue these hijacked people without very less casualties. And all the 33 terrorists were killed. And let me tell you, there were 11 terrorists who were really guarding these hijacked people with suicide jackets. And the way our SSG troops, they used a sniper rifle and they killed them, and then they rescued all the people. It is really appreciable, and we must appreciate this speaks professionalism of armed forces. SSG and also Air Force also supported a lot. And we thought that there are going to be much more casualties, but only first night when our troops were not there, they could kill those hijacked people, and later on there was not a single casualty. So it was a tremendous operation, and it sent a very clear message to the world that our armed forces are capable of handling any untoward incidents, any type of operation, and they have really can launch and execute in a most professional way. Number one. Then, of course, it was so challenging. We know it is very difficult. It was a mountainous, rugged terrain. Then it was all barren area. They had taken to the mountains, and the way they were all encircled, they could not run away. And later on, they were killed by using our sniper rifles. But the point message is that it is really demoralizing for the all terrorists because they were the best fighters, 33, all killed, and we did not have any loss. So this speaks how we had planned meticulously, and the challenge was that all the hijack these people who were hostages should be rescued without any casualties, and that job was done. I think it is well done by Pakistan Armed Forces and Air Force also. But the point is, we must understand that this will keep happening unless and until now the whole nation stands together behind armed forces and we decide once for all that we have to eliminate terrorism from Pakistan, and for that we need to have increase the capacity of armed forces. Then the whole elements of national power have to be together. Then illegal spectrum we talk all the time. That means how the hundi is coming to money is coming, narcotics, then smuggling, then there are so many other things, smuggled vehicle, and that whole money is going and funneled to these terrorist organizations. So when you combine all the efforts and FBR, customs, everybody has to join head together to support military operations, intelligence-based operations. We don't want that we should go for all out. The army will keep doing intelligence-based operation, but the only thing is Chief Army Staff has said many times that we are determined to eliminate terrorism from Pakistan. We will keep killing terrorists. We'll keep giving sacrifices. We'll keep giving shahadat. But if you want to really eliminate terrorism once for all, then the whole nation has to stand up. All resources are.
We require a whole of the nation approach in this particular regard. Brigadier Nawaz, I see your partner for the interjection over here. Let me add one more important thing over here as well. The government also plans to convene a multi-party conference. How crucial a step that could prove in order to bring all the stakeholders, in order to form that one unified stance against this particular menace?
You see, this is the most important thing. Unless we have a national consensus and political consensus, we have to tell and convey to these terrorists and also particularly to the Indians who are our number one enemy and they're raw, and to the whole world, then Pakistan nation stands united to counter these terrorist activities. That is the most important thing we have to do is, and then of course in that we have to leave apart the political differences, party differences, individual differences. When we talk about Pakistan, there is Pakistan first. If Pakistan is there, we will all have the best of time and enjoy our sovereignty in Pakistan. That message has to be conveyed. And then when we chart out an action plan like 14th, 2014, 2020 point national action plan, then we have 14 action plan. We'll keep making national action plan, but the point is how we implement. This has to be implemented in spirit, letter and spirit, with all in. Particularly, we have to improve our criminal justice system. We had to carry out the judicial reforms, police reforms. Then we had to go for madrasa reform. We have not done 32,000 madrasas in Pakistan. Only 16,000 are registered. Remaining 16,000 unregistered. We don't know how the money is coming, who is funding, what is their agenda. We have no idea. And along with special military courts, you see the point is when you get some wealth, then you have to punish speedy, because that is how you create a deterrence effect on the others who are the next potential terrorists. All these things have to be united. Everything is there. The only thing is we have to implement, and we have to implement rigorously, and we have to ensure that everything done and implemented the way things are brought out. And NECTA has to be made very, very important part of this terrorist activity, because unless NECTA is not doing their own business on their work, it is very difficult, because here the all intelligence information comes, it is collated and then disseminated centrally. So that all things have to be done. So I think the first responsibility is to hold national consensus, political consensus, and then we should go for this. We must have the National Security Committee meeting. There the final plan is worked out, final strategy is worked out, and then execution is done.
Right. I'll come back to you, Brigadier Nawaz. Mr. Shah, now specifically talking about the consensus all across of all the stakeholders, including the political stakeholders. We know the government is going to plan to convene a multi-party conference in this particular regard. The recommendations, suggestions are invited from all the stakeholders in this particular regard. And firstly, your understanding how crucial at this particular point in time it has become since we saw that particular consensus developing in the wake of the tragic incident of Army Public School.
We have before us our experience of Army Public School, and after that the convening of the all parties conference and other stakeholders. And if you remember at that time, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, they were holding a sit-in in Islamabad. But when that incident happened, they also called off their sit-in. So the whole nation was on one point to effectively combat terrorism. And as a result of that National Action Plan, 20 points were formulated and agreed upon. And light of that resolve, then Zarb operation was carried out, and it bore fruits. And when the post operation analysis as far as its effects were concerned carried out, so it revealed that there was a drastic drop down as far as incidents of terrorism are concerned. So for quite some time we had a relative peace as a result of those operations. When you compare the timings before 2014, the terrorist and the militant organization had parallel administrations in certain areas of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and as well as at that time the federally administered tribal areas. So with those operations, all those networks were dismantled, they were scattered, their backbone at that time was broken. So it is now this the forthcoming meeting the national consensus which is going to be developed is the reiteration of those points agreed upon in National Action Plan, and then again those were revised in 2021. And then we had a national security policy in 2022. So these all policies, it will be again, I would say that the policies are already there. We have and we have the laws already there, the Anti-Terrorism Act 1997, we have the Anti-Men and Laundering Act, we have the prevention of electronic crimes, and we have the fair investigation. So according to those laws, those policies have been evolved and implemented. Now it will be again, I would say, a reiteration of those policies, and the resolve is now there. Now there will be a clarity, and all stakeholders, whether they are within the government or outside the government, they would now they realize that they sail in the same boat. And if there is a hole in the boat, all will drown, because peace and security, this is one point on which every citizen, every political party and any pressure group within Pakistan, they have to agree upon, because peace and security is the concern of every citizen.
Consensus is of utmost importance at this particular point in time, that collective will of the entire nation.
Yes,
and the whole of
because
the nation
there would be no confusion, no ambiguity as far as approaching and how to combat. Now there will be there would be consensus as far as how to deal with it.
Right. Brigadier Nawaz made a very important point already, that he talked of certain points in that National Action Plan, the 20-point plan. It's the reforms in police reforms in the judicial system, the criminal justice system. He has also talked about the registration of seminaries, the madaris. Is mentioned that out of 32,016 still remain unregistered. So starting from the reforms in judicial system, the criminal justice system and police reforms, what are your recommendations?
Yeah, as far as you see, I would come to the judicial reforms. If you study the militancy, as far as the rise of militancy, religious militancy and SWAT was concerned, so all the research which had been carried out, it was focused on the judicial system and the lack of justice and delay in justice in particular. Because when there is a delay, it means that there is a denial of justice.
Right.
So a common citizen is aggrieved because of adjournments and even a writ petition in the High Court takes years and years. So this is one of the major areas which requires reforms, that there has to be quick dispensation of justice. So how to make it? We have to amend the laws, and at the same times there has to be, as far as the criminal administration of justice is concerned, there are three components. One is the police level, the quality of investigation has to be improved. Then the prosecution side, the prosecution has to be improved. Then there has to be day-to-day trials, no adjournments. Either a person has to be convicted or to be acquitted on the basis of evidence.
Right.
So these are the areas which requires reforms. And on the operational sides, I would say that the police station and the district is the main units of the criminal administration justice system. So we have improved the counter-terrorism department, elite forces, but still the police station is the first responder. So keeping in view the pattern of the terrorism, we have to reorganize the police stations and the districts. And every district must have a dedicated anti-terrorism personnel unit in order to respond quickly to any threat or to any attack.
Right, Brigadier Nawaz, what are your recommendations regarding this particular front? The number of important points which have been highlighted by Mr. Shah.
The most important, I do agree, definitely the criminal justice system requires rehashing. You see, Chief Justice of Pakistan, he has to look inward. What responsibility he has to improve the system? Same old system in lower courts, people are coming, spending 20 years and not getting justice. And we always remember it is justice delayed, justice denied. That means all those criminal and those terrorists, we must be having a special military courts where the time limit should be 1 to 3 months. And that's all. Once those are executed, they are punished, then it will have deterrent effect on others not to do it. That's why you do it. And then, of course, madrasa, you see, we don't know what education is being given, who is funding. We've seen even in Karachi, I see when going interior, the big madrasas are there with 40 rooms, 50 rooms. Who is funding? What is the agenda? What are the teaching? Are they brainwashing? Or when we talk about kids, we have to give them all other education like technology, IT, information technology, we must give them camp. These all science subjects, and also then they must learn or technical education along with your religious education. Why not? You see how many your all scholars, they objected to it. Their motive behind it. We must understand all these things. Then of course, then rehabilitation plan. When army clears the area, then they hold the area, then come the civil administration, they have to take it back. They have to come there and then rehabilitate the people who are migrated, IDPs. Nobody bothers about them. Where will they go? Then Afghan refugees, you see, the point is, where are the Afghan refugees in Pakistan? All over the Pakistan they spend. I was the Home Minister in Caretaker government in Sindh. And then we had with the intimation material formulated Paris, we sent 7 lakhs. Over 15 to 20 lakhs of Afghan refugees are here. They are Afghan nationals. They are Pashtuns, but then they are Afghan nationals. We have Pashtun in Pakistan, they are Pakistani nationals. We must mark the difference. That's very important, and we don't realize how it is being done. Then, of course, these all things we have to do it, and rehabilitation, we don't bother about it. And there's no purpose to have new action plan. The only thing we have to decide is how we are going to implement it. That is the thing. And then after APC, then we must have a National Security Committee meeting in which we have all services chiefs, chairman, joint chiefs of staff committee, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Interior Minister of Pakistan, along with leaders of the opposition, leaders of the government, everybody is there. So, and all provincial chief ministers, there you decide once we have to do. And then we need to have 4 or 5 pronged strategy, multi-pronged strategy. It is not only that we have to do something with the terrorists, how we have to talk, send our delegation to Afghanistan. what they have to tell them, what all we have done for you, what we expect from you. We have to be very clear, and then ultimate what is going to happen. We have to talk to American what they have told, what India is doing, being their proxy in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Though India is not a global terrorist country, we all know it. Then we have to talk in our own region, Russia, nuclear power, China nuclear power, Central Asia, Iran, Pakistan. Have we ever got together? Our security heads got together to make to formulate a regional security problem issues. How we have to resolve it? How we have to control Afghanistan? Because Afghanistan is peaceful, then we have no problem. You see, Central Asia is connected with through Afghanistan to Balochistan, and then we go to Gawad and there the whole world market is available. So this is what we have to plan it. It's very, very important. And why Americans have left weapons and ammunition to Afghanistan, you must understand. They want Afghanistan to remain troublesome. It should remain heaven for terrorist organization. Only then we cannot have a connectivity from Central Asia. Pakistan cannot have CPEC. Pakistan cannot have Gwadar port as operationalized, and we get economic development. These are the problems we have. And we must explain China. Chinese are working in Afghanistan. They're taking over all the natural resources. They're giving millions of dollars to Afghan government. Have you ever heard that even one Chinese is killed in Afghanistan? Not a single one. Why they're killed in Balochistan and Karachi? The reasons are very clear. They have to be harassed. They should not come to here to complete this CPEC. So this whole some effort we have to make it. This is what is important. We'll say, okay, we'll do it, but it has to be, everybody has to play their part. Foreign Office, Ministry of Interior, your release madrasas, and also criminal system. Then things are going to improve. It is a wholesome requirement. Illegal spectrum is the most important thing where the whole money is coming, financial money is coming and going to terrorist organization. So you have to root out terrorism once for all. That's what I think.
Right, Brigadier Nawaz, you already mentioned of the leftover weapons by the United States of America back in Afghanistan, when that particular international troops withdrawal was happening. You associated a reason with that particular thing, that Americans want this particular region to be unstable. That's why they particularly left the weapons over here. Let's go a little back in time. During the Joe Biden's administration, there was unequivocal support expressed on the part of the State Department a number of times that they are ready to help Pakistan in counterterrorism domain. Recently, we have seen Pakistan security forces. Brigadier Nawaz, I have to take a short break, and after this news break, I'll come back to you and have this question before you for your take. Welcome back to Views on News. In today's program, we are discussing the government's effort and plan in order to strengthen the National Action Plan. We've had discussion on a number of aspects already. We are joined in the studio by Mr. Syed Akhtar Shah and on Skype by Brigadier Retired Haris Nawaz. Mr. Shah, if you allow me, I'll come back to you for a number of other points because we are left with very short time from here onwards. Brigadier Nawaz, your quick understanding as to your earlier observation that it is the US which purposefully left the weapons, NATO caliber weapons, during its withdrawal in Afghanistan. Please go ahead.
You see, now we have, when I talk of multi-pronged strategy, means they used to approach America.
Let me quote that excerpt from UN Security Council resolution as well. They urged all the states, the Security Council members urged all the states in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant Security Council resolutions to cooperate actively with the government of Pakistan in this regard.
So what can they actively support Pakistan? You see, the point is, now we have to tell Americans, you have done all, you have left weapons, ammunition, there's so many terrorist organizations again come, you are giving them, you have left weapons, ammunition, you're giving them so many millions of dollars every month as financial support. There are a lot of NGOs, international NGOs working over there, right? And they don't have a politically inclusive government. They don't have ethnic balanced representation. They're only Pashtun. They don't have Hazaras, Uzbeks, Tajiks. So they are not there also. So they have to support. If United Nations passed resolution, then next what? Have they given any assertive orders to Americans and European Union? Please go and support Pakistan militarily. At least give them military hardware. Give them coalition funds because support fund so that their resources are draining out. They suffered $100 billion. They have suffered 80,000 casualties, civilians, so many thousands of Pakistani soldiers. Then they have just left it, and we help them even evacuation also. So, and we can't tell Americans that what India is doing with us. Gulbishan Yadav example is there. Their story advisor has said that we are going to separate Jerusalem from Pakistan. We are working on it, and we are openly saying it. Nobody there to give them reins. The point is, these all things we have to work it out. And then in Pakistan, in about national political parties of Balochistan, we have to approach them. See what are the reservations, what do they want, what they say central deprivation, so and so thing. For federal government team should go, say to 1 month over there, talk to all that Sardars and Balochistan government, see what are their problems. Their people are poor, they fall prey to the hostile agencies, and they have to be given some monetary funds. If they have lands and there's no water, then we give them.
Nawaz, I seek your pardon for the interjection over here. Get your point. Unfortunately, we are short of time. Mr. Shah, there are 2 points in National Action Plan and the revised National Action Plan that talk about the Balochistan government to be fully empowered for political reconciliation of the complete ownership by all the stakeholders in the revised one, Balochistan reconciliation process. Point number 10, as Brigadier Nawaz has suggested, a federal government team going over there, taking into confidence the political leadership over there, and also trying to understand what their grievances are and to help them resolve that. Please go ahead quickly, because
point
it's just
number 17 of the National Action Plan explains taking the stakeholders over there and giving them all the ownership to deal with the political elites or the political public opinion leaders,
right.
and to develop a reconciliation. And we have to understand that grievances is one of the most propelling factors leading towards extremism and radicalization.
Your quick take regarding that.
So-
now we just a
So
short
the,
while
so the
ago.
initiative taken by the government to send the delegations or the representative of the federal government to speak to the main political leaders in Balochistan for the reversal of their grievances is a positive step. And if you look at the revised national action, it has 2 components. One is the kinetic energy, and the other is the non-kinetic.
Right.
So it's in consonance with the non-kinetic part of the
I get your
National
point,
Action
Syed
Plan.
Akhtar Ali Shah, former Inspector General of Police. Thank you very much for taking time out for Views on News tonight. Really appreciate that. On Sky, we were joined by Brigadier Retired Haris Nawaz, analyst. Brigadier Nawaz, thank you very much for your time also, for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we come to the end of today's episode. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.